You're such an asshole.
Business is a booming here at assholeconsulting.com, where you have questions, I have answers, and you're going to pay for them because unlike every other place, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you you're a fuckface straight to your face. Hey, asshole. Oh, for a price, though, too. For a price. You mean people pay you to curse and yell at them? Yeah, about that. Pretty fucking sweet gig. Hey, asshole. I'm 20 years old. After high school, I studied law for 1.5 years, but I found it boring. Solving problems was fun, but the law is just so dry. I have deferred and until recently became obsessed with game, a.k.a. chasing women. I'm aware of game is, kid, yeah. I'm from a small town, so I moved to Sydney with my mate. Oh, you're an Aussie. Okay, cool. Where I worked as a bartender, went to a gym, and chased pussy. I'm back in my hometown because Sydney is too expensive. Within a week, I got a girlfriend, but we eventually broke up because I felt like I'm not doing anything with my life. This problem keeps occurring whenever I start dating someone. With this said, I know I need to get a more fulfilling job and get more hobbies. I did a military aptitude test and I was offered whatever I wanted because I scored highly. The problem is it's a 6-year commitment. My other option is to go back to university and study something in the STEM field. The problem is anything that interests me to study, like psychology or film, are worthless degrees. So how do you make a worthwhile degree interesting? The last thing I want is to work a job I hate in my mid-40s. So in summary, I'm wanting to know how to basically try before you buy with possible career paths. I find it difficult to apply myself if there isn't any passion in what I'm doing, and I don't want to try and quit, or is this inevitable? Thanks, man. All right, cool. Listen, here's the deal. I'm not going to yell at you because, like Americans or American counterparts, in my generation, for the past 50 years, the West has been lying to their children about follow your heart, the light will follow, and you can do everything you want, and we'll all make chocolates, and we'll just sell orgasms and raise puppies, and we'll all be billionaires. Obviously, that's not how the real world works. Now, you can either accept the real world and operate by its principles, rules, guidelines, and realities, or you can continue down the liberal arts majoring, fluffy bunnies, poppycock, liberal arts, leftist, dipshittery thinking kind of studies. And if you live in the real world, you're going to have success. If you don't, you're going to have failure. Okay? But what you want, what you were promised way up here, that doesn't exist. That exists with unicorns and big-breasted women with asses that fit in here who are doctorates in electrical engineering and support themselves. It just doesn't happen. It's like a movie about 4 women who are all in STEM, and they start this entrepreneurial endeavor that's profitable and very risky. Oh, wait, it's this false movie called Ghostbusters. Oh. Anyway, so this idea, I'd like to major in something I like and make a career. No, it doesn't happen because humans are pretty much universally the same. We like fun shit. And when we say, I like to be a writer, I'm good with children, I want to study history and art, and then I'll study art history. Don't expect that to pay because those fields are just flooded with people doing fun shit. That's why fun is called fun and work is called work. It's why you're paid to work because it's not fun. Nobody likes to work. That's why you're paid. Now, every great once in a while, an asshole is born where he or she gets really lucky. You know, like the beer meister, the guy or the gal that gets to sample the beer. There are ice cream tasters, I think. Now, this is a long time ago. Eddie's Ice Cream, which is an American brand, I don't know if you have it down there. Eddie's Ice Cream, their ice cream taster, made $250,000 a year, and that was 20, 30 years ago. And then there's some fucking schmuck on the internet that yells and curses at people and he charges for advice. I mean, now these are rare, lucky sons of bitches. It's unlikely to happen to you unless you get self-employed, you become an entrepreneur, which I wholeheartedly endorse. And even then, if you're an entrepreneur, it's not always going to be fun and cookies. So what you have to do is you have to live in the real world. You have to acknowledge that work is work and you have to do things that most people don't want. And ideally, the best you can do is find a STEM field or a trade or a skill like accounting, computer network, something, computer programming, something that piques your interest, isn't terribly boring, that you have a good aptitude for, and just suck it up and accept that fact. And then go make a shit ton of money, all right? You work to live. You do not work and live. You work to live, not live to work. No, it's you work to live, and you don't mix the two up, is what I'm saying, okay? The only people that believe this bullshit that your work is what gives you value in life are millennial, baby boomer, and Gen X women who believe that their career defines them. That's the only people that believe that bullshit, and young men as well. So, but that's not... Get whatever job puts food on the table, preferably something that you're in such a rare skill that it's in such demand that you tell your boss to shove it and that you're going to dictate your terms. So those are very rare, but that's where you would ideally like to go. Now, what that is, I don't know. But yes, it is relatively in the world of STEM, IT, becoming a doctor or a surgeon, something like that. Now, you have another choice. Okay, you are what? You are 20. All right, you don't know nothing. All right, you probably don't have a ton of money, and you probably don't know enough about yourself, right? What did you went to law? You studied law, and you said, "Okay, I don't like it." Before you do any more mistakes, why don't you learn a little bit about yourself? Now, my next book coming out, called Reconnaissance Man, addresses this key issue, but I'm not going to go into the details. But the larger point is, you need to spend time figuring yourself out, and combine this with the fact that no one takes anybody in the Western world seriously until they're 35. This is why, again, I endorse the military. Now, hang on, let me look this up. I had a buddy of mine. I wanted to make sure the Australian military offered the same benefits as the U.S. military or something similar. Okay. And my Australian agent in the field got back to me. The Osmil. Okay, so I just spoke with a mate of mine who used to be in the Australian Navy. The big advantage that the U.S. has is the support once you leave the military. There is no pension in Australia. That stopped back in 1994. You only have the regular superannuation, which is the same as any job. Also, medical care is not as good. The hospitals aren't the same quality. Well, yeah, the veterans hospitals here aren't that great. Also, the Veteran Affairs Association is very weak. My mate was telling me about a guy who hurt his back in the Defense Force in 2004 and finally got a payout just this month. So that's 12 years to get something resolved. And there's none of the community support that you have in the U.S. Really? You Aussies don't like your fucking soldiers? For example, the lounges in the airport for military as a way of expressing thanks, special deals on home loans, that sort of thing. Oh, okay. We have none of that over here. My mate thinks that the two aren't even really comparable. All right. So you don't have that. Now, if you're going to get your school paid for, or if you just want to figure out what the fuck you want to do in life, and you want good pay, you can either join the mines out in Perth, but even those are starting to go down from what I understand because of the slowdown in the Chinese economy, or you could join the military. You get food, clothing, and shelter at minimum paid for, at least healthcare there while you do. Yeah, you might get shot. But I'd hope you have the intelligence to understand that. And I think I did remember reading somewhere that you actually do have training, education, and stuff like that in the military. That would not be the worst idea, especially if you're going to float around and you have no fucking clue what you want to do. So you go into the military. I know it seems like a forever, and you get out when you're 26. You are going to come out with money in your pocket, perhaps even enough to pay for like a small little well, not in Melbourne, a piece of land about that big in Melbourne. Just kidding. You'll come out way ahead than your liberal arts majoring dipshit counterparts who go and get their masters in English. All right. You'll have some world experience. You'll definitely have a better idea of what you want to be, and then you'll have some money to pay for it. And then you'll say, okay, you become a mechanic on helicopters. I don't know. Say, wow, I really like being a mechanic. There you go. Go to trade school. You do counter espionage at whatever Australia's secret service is. And you say, okay, I want to become a linguistics type guy or a computer hacker or something. Well, there you go. But in the meantime, if you're floating around, got nothing else to do, it's either that or you make it a point every night to go and take a Khan's Academy class or look at a YouTube tutorial or something about different types of high-paying jobs. Now, let me go back to your original question, make sure I haven't missed anything. Psychology. Last thing I wanted to do is work a job I hate in my mid-40s. Right, well, get out of the military at 26, you have 14 years before, 20 years before your mid-40s. Want to know how to basically try before you buy a certain possible career path. Right, you got to make it a discipline, a chore every night that you are going to go and evaluate different careers, different options, different jobs. find it difficult to apply myself. If there isn't any passion, do want to try and quit? Right. Find out where you have a passion. This means you have to spend a lot of time figuring shit out. And if you're not willing to do that, or you need your ass kicked, you need some kind of structure, then you join the military. All right. Hope that gives you some ideas. Best of luck to you. Toodles.